Hey guys, what's up? So now we're gonna talk about why girls are damn near addicted to someone who has status. See, here's the thing. Every girl doesn't always like a guy with status, but if we're just being honest, in the world we live in today, status is one of the things that girls do prefer, especially on social media and the internet and TV, wherever, right? Any form of status is going to catch a girl's attention nowadays. That's just the way it is. That's the world we're living in. Now, obviously, I'm not saying it's all the way right, but there are a few reasons as to why you can't really blame girls for going after someone who has status or has a huge following on Instagram, most likely. So we're going to get into it. Reason number one, they know that they get with that guy who has a lot of status. Other jealous guys will hit their DMs. See, this is something that no one talks about. So this is my number one reason. Because the thing is that you have some guys, a lot of guys out there who are envious and jealous of guys who have a following on IG, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. So what they do is when they find out he has a girlfriend, they do everything they can to DM that chick just to piss him off. Unfortunately, you have a lot of guys who do sucker stuff like that, unfortunately. And girls know that. Girls know that being that, guys have a tendency to be a little more envious of people who are making more money and have a roster of chicks. They know that those other haters are going to be on their profile, possibly DMing them as much as possible. So what does that mean? They get more attention and they don't have to give up the ass for it. That's what that basically means. So unfortunately, guys they just want to stick their dick in another guy's girl for whatever reason. They just get a thrill out of it, as if there's no other girls in the world. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking you for sleeping with someone else's girlfriend. I mean, listen, if she wants to give it up, that's on her. But what I am saying is that there are a lot of guys who are willing to be with your chick just out of jealousy. That's something that you have to be aware of. But with girls, they obviously know that guys get jealous, especially when they have a bad chick on their arm. So what that means is they'll get more likes on their posts, more story views, and more DMs. Unfortunately, it works to their advantage, and in that instance, it probably doesn't work to our advantage. But that's just how they look at it. So that's the main point that a lot of guys that flies over their head, and they just don't really realize it. They don't realize it at all. As soon as you start becoming successful, making money, you look better in the gym, and you get a good-looking girlfriend, you're going to have a lot of haters. You're going to have a lot of haters and guys who are willing to fuck your girl just to get underneath your skin. That's just the way it is. Because the thing is with guys, we just can't get over it when someone else is bending over our chick. That's just the way it is. Number two, social proof. If you have a huge following or a lot of status, it proves that you're social. Now, the argument is that a lot of guys will say, oh, well, why do you need a big following on, the internet to show that you're social? Because you need proof that you're not a loser. That's the main thing. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that you have to be on the internet 24/7 to show off everything you have. I'm not saying that at all. But guys, social proof is important nowadays. And you can't blame girls for wanting someone who has some type of social proof. You can't knock them. Reason being because if you're not really a social person, you have to be some type of loser or something is wrong with your communication skills as to why you don't have any friends that you can hang out with. That's why. So anytime when someone has a social proof or they have a decent following on Instagram, or any platform whatsoever, it shows that other people actually respect that guy. Other people actually respect him, and they don't mind being associated with him at any form of capacity. But if you're a guy who's on Instagram and you have a picture of your dog as your profile picture, and you had 3 posts in the last 3 years, obviously something might be wrong. Not saying that it is for sure, but it's obviously some type of red flag that a girl is gonna think of. That's just the way it is. It shows that you have no proof of being social. The key word is social proof. Social proof means you have proof that other people fuck with you. That's it, whether it's true or not. So being that when a girl sees you and she gets your Instagram, she wants to see that if you have a few pictures, a good looking profile, and a decent following, and you actually do stuff. You go to the gym, or you go on vacation, or you're actively outside. You're doing something. That's the main thing. You have a life outside of chasing girls 24/7. That's the main thing. If you have no social life, then you're basically a loser. See, back in the day when there was no TV, obviously the guy who was known in school or known on the block or known in the neighborhood, he obviously has some social proof that way. And that worked, but obviously we don't live in that day and age. Girls lose interest like this, and you not having any decent following on social media can hurt you. So you have to build up your social proof as much as possible. Go out to parties, know people, or get around people who got some type of clout, some type of motion, and just be associated with them. So it looks like you actually have a life outside of going to work. Number 3, their social proof and their status goes up. So the thing is that being that we live in this world where you can really market yourself on the internet, it is probably one of the biggest tools you could have outside of working a 9 to 5. So being that most girls know this, they feel that if they get with a guy who has a lot of status, their status goes up. So they can probably get, business ads on Instagram. They could probably market their own business. They're more known publicly. They might get invited into other parties just because they're with that particular guy. Anytime when you're with somebody who stands out in the public eye, it will give you more respect. And that obviously can go both ways. You should, most girls will tell you that anytime when they're with a guy and, he has like cloud status or he's well known in the neighborhood, it gives them more points. That's just the way it is. They get more respect and they actually feel more confident. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but that's just what it is. And the last reason I would say is, it goes to my third point. They get to stunt on other females constantly. See, it goes to my point of what I was arguing with someone at the gym last week. Because what happened was, he was about to graduate and he had to go to a prom, but the girl that he was interested in taking to his prom, she wanted to go out with one of his friends instead of him. So basically, she dubbed him to go out with one of his friends. So he was mad saying yo, bro, I don't understand, why is she going out with him? He's already fucking other chicks and he already had sex with this girl and that girl. Why won't you go out with me when he already had a lot of bodies at school already? I told him because, man, her decision was bigger than you. The reason why she went out with that guy was, one, because he's dealing with other chicks. That's number 1. And number 2, also, she can use him to stunt on those other girls at prom. That's why. So guess what? He slept with all of them, but he took me out to prom. That was her validation. That's something that she wanted. She wanted that ego boost to at least go out with him, just to show those other chicks that she was just one of those girls, at least for the night. So her decision wasn't that you was ugly, because she was interested in you somewhat. It wasn't that he was so much ugly, but he couldn't understand why girls always go out with guys who sleep with everybody. But that's the key reason why. Anytime when a guy is well known, or he's known for at least having a lot of girls on his roster, if that girl knows that she can get with that guy or get him into a relationship, she can stunt on other girls every chance she gets, because he didn't give those other girls a relationship or a nice night out, but she got one. That's it. It's all a competition. Dating is a big ass competition. It's always been that way. There's no denying it. That's just the way it is. So being that girls look at it that way, they're gonna always get with the guy that looks like he's like a catch, like he's a rare commodity. That's just the way it goes. So, he was crying and complaining about it. Basically he got dubbed, like his friend beat him to the pussy, basically. But I told him, man, you're gonna have to post more pictures. And another thing too, the guy that, his friend that took out the girl, he has a following on IG and he has good looking pictures and he's on the track team. When I looked at his profile, he had 0 pictures, and the only thing you saw was his profile picture with him in a t-shirt. Shoot, I ain't gonna front. If I was that girl, I would have dubbed him too, to be honest with you. So that's something you guys don't understand, man. Clout and social media and having some form of status, it is leverage. I'm not saying it's everything. I'm not saying it's everything. Can you get rejected even though you have status? Yes, you can. You can definitely get rejected. But nonetheless, it does have an impact. It does have an impact. And those are a few reasons why you can't really blame girls as to why they want it. But at the same time, you can't complain about it and get mad when girls want to get with a guy that's known. That's just the way it is. So that's what it is. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me what y'all think of the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.